This is a Transformers Studio Series Sideswipe. This one came out in 2021, so it's fairly recent. Here's a quick look at the back of the box. I was going to film the Studio Series Bumblebee, but after looking at the back, I saw this has 39 steps to transform it, while this one only takes 19, and I'm lazy. But if you guys are interested in this one, just leave a comment below. I mean, I'm going to review it regardless, but I want you to engage with my content. I'm gonna say his face sculpt looks horrendous though. Now let's open it up. Here is the figure, and here are the accessories it comes with. His 2 blades, and his 2 guns. Along with that, it comes with a foldable backdrop, and here are the instructions in a long horizontal booklet. These little pieces attach right here. Just peg that in on both sides, and you have his weapons. And then he also comes with these guns, which go in each hand. And he does have weapon storage. This one goes in like this, and this one goes in on this side. And then these go right underneath here, one on this side, and then the other one goes in on the other side. Now the instructions show this is supposed to stick out, but I think that looks dumb. Kinda like the Transformers movies. Age of Extinction, more like age of a bad movie. More like the age of consent is 18. Stop trying to find loopholes. Why is that scene in the movie? It's really creepy. Should I be calling the police? So I'm just gonna keep them down and to the side. The molded detail on the chest and especially the abs look great. It's got some molded detail on the legs and the feet area. Unfortunately, the legs are a bit hollow in some areas. His arms do have a massive hollow spot, but that is for the transformation. I definitely think this area of the figure looks the best. The paintwork on it also looks great. I am loving the silver. The head sculpt I think is pretty complex for something this small. It's got a lot of molded detail on there, and the blue eyes really pop out. But with that mouth, I kind of feel like it's going to bite my face off if I give it the wrong answer to a question. But from a normal viewing angle, it doesn't look that bad. He's even got a considerable amount of molded detail on the back of his head too. Hey, so while editing the video, I noticed I forgot to do this to the figure. You're supposed to bring this down. I don't know why the figure doesn't come like that already. Now, is that my fault for not researching the figure before I made a review of it so I could be considered a competent toy reviewer? No, it's Hasbro's fault for making me look bad. Now back to the review. The figure itself does feel a little bit cheap, but it's not too bad, and he makes up for it with all the detail and excellent coloring. Also, this doesn't tab into the side very well, so you might as well take it off, which you have to do anyway before you transform this, and we'll get to that in a moment. Now on the back of the figure, he does have a lot of a backpack, but this figure costs under $30, so you get what you pay for. Another thing I didn't really like about Sideswipe's design is that instead of having regular feet, he had wheels, which does affect his ability to stand, but not by too much. You just need to make sure these are down and flat with the surface so the figure can stand. It'll take a little bit of fiddling, but you'll eventually get it. Posability wise, the head can spin all the way around, and it can look up and down. The arms can spread out that much. These things at the back can move. The arms can only move about that much because of these in the way. 90-degree elbows, and you don't want to forget the 360 arm movement there. The legs can only split about that far. These legs can spin around all the way. The legs can go up that much and back that much. 90-degree knee movement, and I guess this is considered ankle movement, even though it's a really high ankle. These can slide right here, and the waist can move all the way around. And the hands are molded in place, so no movement there. Now, when I was a kid, Sideswipe was one of my favorite characters. That's a sentence that's never been said before. And the only reason I really liked him was because I had the Armada version of the figure. And you can tell I've had this guy for a while. And it's really cool to see how far Transformers figures have come over the years. Just like how it's good to see how far you've gone. I'm proud of you. Also, why is there tape on it? Now let's get to transforming it. First, you want to take off these pieces if you haven't already. Then you want to bring this out and bring it all the way up. Bring this up. Bring this out a bit, bring the hood down, straighten all this out and snap those top 2 pieces together. Bring these down into the side, make sure to tab it in here. Do this for both sides, turn them around again, bring the whole chest piece up, push this back up in here. Now for this part, I do find it easier if you untab that again and bring these in. Then you can put that back in, make sure everything's aligned there. Then you want to bring his arms down like that on both sides. Never forget to do both sides or else they will find you. Bring his hands in, both sides. Bring the arms up and put it in here. Do not forget the other side. Flip these over and then realize you had the right leg backward for a portion of the video, followed by questioning your competence as a toy reviewer and as a human being in general. Flip the bit over on this side too. Bring both wheel sides over. Slide these into place. Bring the sides up like that. By the way, make sure these tab in. Make sure everything is aligned. Now you gotta put these side pieces in. Put this one here and the other one here. Now I do want to point out the weapons did fall out out during the transformation, so that is something to note, but if they hadn't, they would still be inside here. Now, a major problem that I have with the side pieces being weapons is that they fall off way too easily. Now, on this older Sideswipe figure I have, the bladed parts were attached to the figure, rather than being separate pieces. And the reason this one is gold is because... Now, I do really like the vehicle mode on this figure. There it goes again. There are some poor quality control issues on the hood of my figure, which is unfortunate. The top side of the car mode looks pretty good, and honestly, it looks pretty good from most angles besides the underneath. But for under $30, you can't really expect that much. I do like how you can see the engine at the back. The silver paint job is also great in vehicle mode, along with the silver rims. I do really like the car mode. I'd love to see a masterpiece Sideswipe, but unfortunately, there is none. However, there is a third-party release, and a subscription to my Patreon would definitely be helpful in me getting the chance to review this figure. And just for fun, I'm gonna transform this guy as well. Here's a quick side-by-side look at both of them, and yeah, the one on the right is much bigger, but weight-wise, they feel about the same. And honestly, I really like this version of Sideswipe. And on that note, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my Patreon where you can support me for $1 a month, and I'll be posting my toy photography there. Also, leave a comment below telling me what other rewards you'd like to see on my Patreon. And if you want to see more cringe content, check out this review right over here.